Goodness to you, it's Sporty King. And you know I always say goodness. Why? Because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Welcome to GLUE Wednesday. GLUE Wednesday, where we realize that we don't have to hump to get over. We want to find ways to keep it together. And God's love does just that. Because see, God's love is G-L-U-E is God's love undoes everything. Not that God's love will tear things apart, but the things that have been torn apart, that He will undo the tears of sadness and brighten your day. Today, I'll be recomposing a GLUE flashback from my February 2020 message. Now, I didn't have a guiding scripture that day, so my first recompose or composition will be today's guiding scripture of Mark 6:31. Then, because so many people were coming and going, Jesus said to them, Come with me by yourself to a quiet place and get some rest. As I talk about rest, which I just happen to have an AcFirmation for. Yet, in the spirit of transparency, I got the best laugh when I looked in my book, AcFirmations, and saw that I had written that REST stood for R-E-S-T, Revive and Awaken Spiritual Toughness. So that E I turned to an A, so I guess it was RAST. And so on the broadcast, we're going to awaken the edit. Maybe that's what the E should have stood for, right? But that's what I decided to do with keeping this message. Because now when I redo the book, this next edition, I'm going to have to update that. And so I will. Okay, good. But here's an email I got back then from years ago from my good friend Nicole Williams in Colombia. She wrote, "Every time I read your article and watch your videos, I learn something new. LOL." Like, wow. And no, I totally didn't know about the leap year either. So tell me, how do you spend your evening? You are so busy. Do you ever rest? And see, the week before I had said a thing, remember this is from a February 2020 message and we had a leap year, so I had a message in there. So, do you ever rest? LOL. Now, she probably thought I was joking, because here's how I replied. You know, I actually have been researching this thing called rest. And maybe I'll talk about it in my next broadcast. It sounds intriguing. Meanwhile, the goal is actually always to not be so busy with administrative stuff. I've got a goal to be averaging just 2 speaking engagements a month by this August when I turn 65. Then 1 a month by the time I get to 70. I want to use that time to travel, volunteer, and continue to enjoy my closeout days, my closeout weeks, my closeout months, and my closeout years. Kind of like you've been smart enough to do at a younger age. When will you start your traveling? We had a really good exchange. And since I had to edit and spell the word correctly for the next edition, I decided to give this session a creative title of Rest the Spell. So let's get started with the subtitle of what could possibly replace the A in rest and RAS. Okay. Now, our first replacement for the E will be enjoy, which is actually my favorite replacement. As I'm always telling people to enjoy themselves. And my business model is to help people enjoy personal and professional success. You see, so often we have success and forget to celebrate our achievement. Why? Because we focus on the big picture and forget to separate them and it as small, mid, and long-term goals. Think back to what I shared with Nicole. And here's how I have it on my wall. And I read it every day when I sit down. Remember I said my goal is by 65 I want to have 2 a week. That was the now at the time. And then one of my goals had been to move. Well, I had moved since then. Clear credit, still working on it. By 67, I wanted to have 2 speaking engagements a month. I was able to do that. And by 70, which I am now, I want to have 1 speaking engagement a month. Well, I still am not there, but that's what it's up there. That's what I read every morning, okay? And so, where was I? So the goal is actually, oh, I read that part. Remember, have a good, okay. Okay, rest is spelled, so let's get started. E, B, boom, okay. Now, there are many sub-goals in between each of those. But because of the way I operate, I don't have those on that sheet. It's right here on my wall. I don't have those on my sheet. I got a lot of sub-goals in there. But I'm constantly aware of them. And I stop to celebrate and enjoy my steps along the path. And at the end of each day, I think about what I accomplished each day and smile before going to sleep, regardless of how I did. If I only got 2 things done, I celebrate 2. You know, there are times where it seems like I got nothing done in terms of my business. And then I enjoy this as a personal success day. One thing I don't do is I meant to tell you that. There are times where I got nothing done in terms of my business. I enjoy it as a personal success day. I do not and will not beat myself down. What are you using to keep yourself going? And how are you enjoying yourself? The next possible replacement for A would be the E of embrace. Because I do not beat myself down, I embrace how I've gotten stronger through my quarter century plus. It's been 31 years of entrepreneurship. Yet, I also acknowledge that I had to be spiritually tough to begin the walk. And this is an example of one of my favorite reminders to step back, take a look at your work, and then trust your track record while you laugh at your lack record. When I told people in Chicago I was moving to Charlotte, many asked if I had a job. I said no. If I had family there, I said no. If I had a place to stay, I said no. Was there some woman I was chasing? I said no. And so they said, well, why are you moving? There had to be a reason for that. Well, this feeds into what the sub-goals I was telling you about. Here's my reason: because I want to, because I can, because it's time, because it should. See, this started out as the need for 2 of those 3. The first 3, I want to, I can, it's time. I just had those 3, and those are why I make my important moves in my life. Because I want to, because I can, and because it's time. If the move that I'm going to make satisfies 2 of those 3, then I make the move. And I've grown. I've added the 4th, and then I've grown into making it 3 or 4. And when I added the 4th, it has made it harder, because what you should do can be a powerful place. So I still want to get 3 out of 4, but that 4th makes it tough. But you got to be conscious of that. What you should do can be a powerful place, yet even more of a reason to get your rest and pursue your goals. So the next E is experience. My last E, because like I asked Nicole in my email, when are you going to start traveling? And I was not specifically aimed at her, but that's my message to all. As you travel, you get the chance to see how other people live, and you understand why their concerns are the way they are concerned. One of my affirmations is LEFT, L-E-F-T, let's encourage free thinking, with the extended message that sometimes we want to be right when all we need to be is a positive contributor. It depends. Right depends on whether you're on the right side of the 9 side of the 6 or the 6 side of the 9. We have not experienced what's going on in someone else's shoes. However, we are sitting in their row. Each of us is going through something of our own. So see the word through as your self-fulfilling prophecy, and acknowledge that you're going to make it again. And see, experience is about trusting that track record. And it pulls in the rest because it fuels the risk to take the next step. And no matter what word we choose in correcting the spelling of rest, we can still go back to the A and give thanks for awakening our faith in the fact that God's love will undo everything. And then acknowledging the other letters in the acronym. Even when I misspelled it, we still have to acknowledge the revive, the spiritual, and the toughness. Revive, bring and keep alive. Spiritual, more important than a physical awareness. And toughness, you are more resilient than you stop and give yourself credit for. So let's celebrate you even if you're not, so that you can see that you are. Take care of yourself so that you can take care of the ones you love. That's what the rest is all about. I have a shirt from one of my senior citizen centers that I used to visit in Chicago that says, "We are not defying age, we are aging successfully." I always talk to them about how important it was to get their rest, and they told me to make sure I did the same. And now I tell you, get your rest. Thanks, blessings, and appreciation to you for enjoying the broadcast and for remembering that we don't need to hump to make it over. We need to find ways to keep it together. And God's love does just that. His love undoes the tears of sadness to brighten the day. So thanks for joining me in resting a spell on the reconstructed GLUE Wednesday. Remember, you can use my book AcFirmation to reconstruct some of my inspirational messages and then smile. Each page gives the word as an acronym brought to life and defined by my words that then make it an affirmation. So you'll find it at my store through the QR code, where you can also sign up to receive my free monthly fun letter, where you'll find the Golden Brick Road, and you'll find that this year I'm renaming all the months. So it's not March, this is the month of mirth. And actually next month, April, will be the month of mirth, as the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor will be celebrating April. And it's not them celebrating it, April is the month of celebrating humor. Now I gotta double check that because I know it is. But I wasn't thinking about saying that, but that's great, okay? Mirth. And wonder what I'm gonna name the month of April. You stick around and find out, okay? Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful GLUE Wednesday, and have a wonderful next few moments. Over and out. Peace.